Today we'll be speaking on the way of Yah. The way of Yah. Our kickoff verse is Isaiah, the 55th chapter, verses 1 through 9. Ho, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the waters, and he that hath no money, come ye, buy and eat. Yea, come, buy wine and milk without money and without price. Wherefore do ye spend money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which satisfieth not? Hearken diligently unto me, and eat ye that which is good, and let your soul delight itself in fatness. Incline your ear and come unto me. Hear, and your soul shall live. And I will make an everlasting covenant with you, even the sure mercies of David. Behold, I have given him for a witness to the people, a leader and commander to the people. Behold, thou shalt call a nation that thou knewest not, and nations that knew not thee shall run unto thee, because of Yahweh thy Almighty, and for the Holy One of Israel, for he hath glorified thee. Seek ye Yahweh while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. Let him return unto Yahweh, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our Yah, for he will abundantly pardon. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith Yahweh. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. The way of Yah. Definition: way, manner, mode, like police officers have an acronym, MO, mode of operandi, mode of operation. Or fashion, characteristics, or habitual manner. A road, passage, channel. And I'm going to throw in there path. Let's go to Genesis, the 18th chapter. Genesis, the 18th chapter, verses 17 to 19. Genesis, the 18th chapter, verse 17 to 19. And Yahweh said, Shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do, seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great nation, a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of Yahweh, to do justice and judgment, that Yahweh may bring upon Abraham that which he hath spoken of him. This is the time where Yahweh was getting ready to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. And Yahweh knew that Lot was down there. So when Yah delivered Lot from the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, it was not because of any righteousness of Lot. It was because of the righteousness of Abraham. Because Abraham beseeched the Most High. Abraham followed the ways of Yah. Genesis, the 35th chapter. Verses 3. This is talking about Jacob. And let us arise and go up to Bethel, and I will make there an altar unto Yah, who answered me in the day of my distress, and was with me in the way which I went. So we know Jacob, or Jacob, is the grandson of Abraham. Isaac, his father. Who handed down and taught them how to know Yah. Taught them the ways of Yah. Exodus, the 13th chapter. Exodus, the 13th chapter, verse 18. But Yah led the people about through the way of the wilderness of the Red Sea. And the children of Israel went up harnessed. I'm sorry, this is the wrong verse. No, that's the right one. This is the right one. But Yah led the people about through the way of the wilderness of the Red Sea. And the children of Israel went up harnessed out of the land of Egypt. Now, I spoke on this before and made mention of it, that the exodus of Egypt of our ancestors is going to happen again. We are here in this land of our captivity because our ancestors did not hearken to the way of Yah, did not hearken to the laws, statutes, commandments of Yah, did not hearken and keep the covenant that Yah had made with them. And so we are here in this Babylon, this Egypt, not only because of our ancestors, but because our own way. Many times we want to do things our own way. Exodus, the 33rd chapter. Exodus, the 33rd chapter, verse 11 through 14. And Yahweh spake unto Moses face to face, as a man speaketh unto his friend. And he turned again unto the camp. But his servant Yehoshua, the son of Nun, a young man, departed not out of the tabernacle. And Moses said unto Yahweh, See thou sayest unto me, Bring up this people, and thou hast not let me know whom thou wilt send with me. Yet thou hast said, I know thee by name, and thou hast also found grace in my sight. Now therefore, I pray thee, if I have found grace in thy sight, show me now thy way, that I may know thee, that I may find grace in thy sight, and consider that this nation is thy people. And he said, My presence shall go with thee, and I will give thee rest. So in the previous chapters, Moses sought the face of Yah. Moses received the law of Yah. Moses interceded for the people of Yah. Moses here is asking Yah, after they built the tabernacle, for Yah to let him know his way, that he might find grace in his sight. Deuteronomy, the 8th chapter. I'm gonna do some reading now. Y'all bear patient with me. Deuteronomy, the 8th chapter, verses 1 through 18. All the commandments which I command thee this day shall ye observe to do, that ye may live and multiply, and go in and possess the land, which Yahweh sware unto your fathers. And thou shalt remember all the way which Yahweh thy Almighty led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee, and to prove thee, to know what was in thine heart, whether thou wouldest keep his commandments or no. And he humbled thee, and suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man doeth not live by bread only, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yahweh doeth man live. Yah led the people through the wilderness 40 years. Now, for those who don't know, the journey from Goshen of Egypt to the promised land was only supposed to be a 40-day journey. But when they sent out the spies into the land, they brought back 10 of them, brought back a bad report. Only Caleb and Yehoshua brought back a good report. They seen the power, the manifestation of Yah. They seen all the wonders of Yahweh. And all that Yah did, they still brought back a bad report because there were giants in the land. And so because they refused to hearken to the way of Yah, they was made to wander in the wilderness 40 years. Now, as we go through this life, and when Yah makes us aware and reveals himself to us, there's many things that he causes us to suffer. And it behooves us to humble ourselves. Because if Yah has to humble you, it ain't a pretty thing. And they wandered in the wilderness 40 years, and only Jacob and Caleb, from the original ones that came out of Egypt, was allowed to go into the land. Only those that were 21 years and under were allowed to go in the land after the 40-year journey. Thy raiment waxed not old upon thee, neither did thy foot swell these 40 years. Thou shalt also consider in thine heart that as a man chasteneth his son, so Yahweh thy Almighty chasteneth thee. Therefore, thou shalt keep the commandments of Yahweh thy Almighty to walk in his ways and to fear him. For Yahweh thy Almighty bringeth thee into a good land, a land of brooks of waters, of fountains and depths that spring out of valleys and hills, a land of wheat and barley and vines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of oil olives and honey, a land wherein thou shalt eat bread without scarceness, that thou shalt not lack anything in it, a land whose stones are iron, and out of whose hills thou may dig. I know it says brass, but that word's supposed to be copper. That's a subject for another day. When thou hast eaten and art full, then thou shalt bless Yahweh thy Almighty for the good land which he hath given thee. Beware that thou forget not Yahweh thy Almighty, in not keeping his commandments and his judgments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, lest when thou hast eaten and art full, and hast built goodly houses, and dwelt therein, and when thy herds and thy flocks multiply, and thy silver and thy gold is multiplied, and all that thou hast is multiplied, then thine heart is lifted up, and thou forgettest Yahweh thy Almighty, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage, who led thee through that great and terrible wilderness, wherein were fiery serpents and scorpions and drought, where there was no water, who brought thee forth water out of a rock of flint, who fed thee in the wilderness with manna, which thy fathers knew not, that he might humble thee, and that he might prove thee to do thee good at thy latter end. And thou say in thine heart, my power and the might of my hand hath gotten me this wealth. But thou shalt remember Yahweh thy Almighty, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he sware unto thy fathers, as it is this day. I don't know if anybody have ever heard me say this, but I've said this many times. The wickedness of this world and this nation that we live. We have many people that we admire who has sold out, literally sold their soul for what they consider wealth. If you do not hearken to the way of Yah, if you are from the seed of Israel, the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and do not keep the covenant, the law, statutes, commandments, and judgments of Yah, and you become wealthy, be well aware who you're serving, because there's only one Most High, and he told us to beware that we be not deceived by wealth. For the love of money, it says, is the root of all evil. We got to be careful. We got to be careful that we put Yahweh first, that he may give us power to get wealth. Because when you put that as your focus, that is your God. That is whom you're serving. Yehoshua said, you cannot serve Yah and Mammon. Mammon is wealth, riches, power, fame. There's no righteousness in this land. Satan has deceived the whole world. Many preachers sold their souls to the devil, thinking gain is godliness. But if you're not keeping his commandments, be well aware. Deuteronomy, the 13th chapter. Verses 1 through 10. Hallelujah. I need y'all to pay close attention to this. Pay close attention to this. And I'm going to try to take my time with this one in particular. Deuteronomy 13th chapter, verses 1 through 10. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder, talking about a miracles, signs, wonders, miracles, and the sign or the wonder come to pass, whereof he spake unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet, or that dreamer of dreams. For Yahweh your Almighty proveth you to know whether ye love Yahweh your Almighty with all your heart and with all your soul. Ye shall walk after Yahweh your Almighty, and fear him, and keep his commandments, and obey his voice, and ye shall serve him, and cleave unto him. And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has spoken to turn you away from Yahweh your Almighty, which brought you out of the land of Egypt, and redeemeth you out of the house of bondage, to thrust thee out of the way which Yahweh thy Almighty commanded thee to walk in. So shalt thou put the evil away from the midst of thee. Y'all gotta listen. If thy brother, the son of thy mother, or thy son, or thy daughter, or thy wife of thy bosom, or thy friend, which is as thine own soul, entice thee secretly, saying, let us go and serve other gods, which thou hast not known, thou nor thy fathers, namely the gods of the people which are round about you, nigh unto thee, or far off from thee, from the one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. Thou shalt not consent unto him, nor hearken unto him, neither shall thine eye pity him, neither shalt thou spare, neither shalt thou conceal him, but thou shalt surely kill him. Thy hand shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hands of all the people. And thou shalt stone him with stones, that he die, because he hath sought to thrust thee away from Yahweh thy Almighty, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. We are living in a day and time where Yehoshua said, this is the day and time, and it's going to get worse, that many false prophets shall arise and deceive many. We haven't really seen false prophets working miracles and doing all these things. But the way to know that somebody is speaking truth to you, you got to be in the law, statutes, and commandments. You got to live them. If any person, I don't care who they are, if any person tells you as an Israelite that you do not have to keep the commandments, you do not have to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, you can't keep the law, statute, commandments, that's a lie from Satan. That's a lie from Satan. And you're supposed to deem that man or woman a false prophet or prophetess. The word of Yah is sure and cannot be changed. Now, we can't go about killing and stoning folks in this day and age. We just can't go about doing that. And I know some of us might want to. But if it's a kinfolk, if you belong to a church, any organization, ABC camp, if they're not preaching, teaching the righteousness of Yah, the way of Yah, which is his laws, statutes, commandments, and judgments, leave them alone. Stay away from them. Our people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge because the word of Yah says they reject knowledge. The prophet said they reject knowledge. My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge because they reject knowledge. When the Bible and the word of Yah talks about knowledge, it's talking about his law, statutes, commandments, y'all. We can't get around this. We got to obey his law, the Torah. And the commandments themselves, the 10, are not separate from the Torah itself. They are compacted into 10.